start. Now, can I just give a big shout out to my partner, Kim, my daughter, Grace, and my father, Harry. Kim's the actual brains behind all this. She's over there. She's trying to hide. Thank you from the bottom of my heart there.
So the bar shuts at 5.
Our bar shuts at 5, so we're going to have any more drinks before we go on for the next 3 hours.
It's recording.
Welcome to episode 49 of Talking Prisoner. It's a special episode today because we are filming it live at Harlow Bar in Richmond. It's been a great afternoon. And we have Maxine Klibingaitis with us. Bobbie Mitchell, Ken Mulholland, and a guest host, Desiree Smith. She's taking my job. Now, welcome to Talking Prisoner, Maxine.
Thank you very much.
We normally do these on Zoom, but this is more. This is
Imagine
better.
I can't do Zoom, so this is really handy. I don't know how to use a computer really well. Anyway, that's enough. I shall hold this.
Yes, you shall hold that. And we will shoot off with the first question, which
Yes.
Desiree will take.
I already know that. Maxine,
Yes,
tell everybody where you grew up.
Oh, Desiree, it's funny you should ask. I grew up in Ballarat. Do you have a response for that, Desiree?
You're telling porcupines.
No, I grew up in Mulgrave, but I was born in Ballarat, and I moved when family. I didn't just move on my own. It was 2. We moved to Bendigo and then Melbourne. So yeah, since then I grew up in Mulgrave. Here's my beautiful friend Sue Ellen Kerr here, who I went to school with in grade 4. Yeah, let's give her a round of applause. Oh, can everyone, before I start, can everyone just call this? It's my sister's birthday today. She lives in Dubai, and we have this game that we play called Mrs. Greg's. It's a childhood game. Can everyone, actually, has anyone got a camera that they can just, like, for the whole group to say, happy birthday, Mrs. Greg's? Ready, set. Yeah, when you're ready. Just tell me when you're ready. You ready?
Yeah. Ready.
Ready, set, go. Happy birthday, Mrs. Greg's! She's gonna love it! She lives in Dubai and we play this game, we still play it as adults, Mrs. Greg's. And even if it's something really serious, we're both still, I must have made the game up, because she would have been 3, I would have been 5. So we both had the same name. And that was my doing, and I just made her the little Mrs. Greg's. And so we just played old housewives that hated their children, which we didn't even come from that background. We must have just had something going on there. So anyway, so let's get to the questions, shall we? Happy birthday, Mrs. Greg's.
What was your childhood like? And can you share any memories with us?
Yeah, we were rat bags. My whole family. Yeah, Caroline, she's living a fabulous life in Dubai, Mrs. Greg's. And my sister Belinda and my brother Francis, now Frank, of course, he's changed that up. We were naughty, we were just naughty. And we had fun and everything was kind of free range. Well, it was the 70s, right? Who grew up in the 70s here? Yeah, Sue Ellen, I know you did. And we just had fun riding our bikes until the lights went off in the street and going home, and Mum always had our dinner ready, and it was just that kind of upbringing. So that's how I grew up, that's what I did. We were, picnics and beaches and stuff.
Maxine,
Yes, Desiree.
it's not on the script, but you entertain me for hours with your tales, and I have been very fortunate enough to know your mum and dad. Can you please do your mum for everyone and your dad?
Firstly, let me just give you a little prelude. My mother was English and she was almost virtually from the East End, right? Yeah. Crystal Palace, and my father was is Lithuanian. I'll probably kill my father off. Is Lithuanian, and so you'd get home for dinner and it'd be like, where you bloody been? Where you been? What you fucking been doing? Enough of your nonsense. And then you'd get the Mandarin daughter and say, oh, you're all here, fantastic, let's all have a family meal. And sit down, fucking sit down. Yes, we will, all of us. And that's really what it was like. And Dad just, he's non-verbal now because he has Alzheimer's, but he used to, he had a thick accent. Not really. Actually, he was very, very clever in his day. He was an autodidact, so he taught himself 5 languages, and with very little education that was customised, if you like. So Dad came from Lithuania during the war, came out here as a teenager, lied about his age. He was younger than he said he was. And he was Yoga's Klibingaitis, which everyone just stared in horror. In fact, with Klibingaitis, yes, I still struggle. So, and Mum came out as a 10-pound pom with a family of, I think there were 14 of them they got in the newspaper or something or other. So yeah, so that's my background. I don't know Desiree, it was your question, not Ken.
The real question was, what were you like at school, and did you have a favourite or an unfavourite subject?
Sue Ellen, I wagged as often as I fucking could because school, kids, it's shit. It's a building with, oh sorry, your daughter's here. Oh no, just about the school part. No, go to school, Grace. I hated it. I hated every second of it, except for people like Sue Ellen. I hated school. It was a building with people in it, and I didn't even have my first period yet, right? And year one. No, I know it's a bit personal. No, but I used to go to the sick bay and go, oh, me period. Oh, it's really bad. It hurts. I are sick. I probably should go home, and I go home. And then I'd go home. I used to mostly jump the fence anyway, period or not. But used to jump the fence and go home as soon as I'd done roll call, pretty much. Sue Ellen, do you remember me just wagging? I just never was there. Sue Ellen said I wasn't there a lot. She's just been so diplomatic.
Maxine wrote the most amazing stories, always out there.
Oh, here you go.
From a very young age.
Oh, she won't do the microphone. She's too posh. She said I wrote some stories at school. She said they were good. Yeah, I did actually in year 11. I was supposed to do My Brother Jack, which is a beautiful Australian novel, and I couldn't be bothered reading it, right? I am an avid reader. I do love reading, and but I couldn't be bothered. So I just waited and listened and stuff in class, and everyone's I know the answer. So I just thought, oh yeah, I think I'll put it together. And I wrote this essay, which was the final, like for the end of the year essay. And I wrote it and I got an A for it. And then the teacher, Mrs. Fincham, she called me back and she said, I could have given you an A+, but I'm pretty aware. What?
No, I was scratching my leg.
I thought you were tapping me. Something sexy. She said, I would have given you an A+, but I know you didn't read the book. She didn't get full, but no, school was shit. I hated it. It was shit. Who likes school? Really? Truly? See, not a sound. Where's that pin dropping? Not a sound. So, now, did you like school, Ken?
Hated it.
I rest my case. What's next?
Ken's next.
Ken.
First job.
At the ABC, when I just walked in and said, oh, do you need any actresses? And they said yes, and then I auditioned for something, I didn't know what, it was a kid's show, and I got the role, and then while I was doing that, during that 5-week shoot, someone told me that Grundy's were casting for something, and I did the same thing. I thought it was fucking easy. Well, where's the mystery? And I went in and auditioned for what I now know to be Prisoner. I now know it was Bobbie, but I didn't know then. I had no idea at all. Hadn't watched the show, didn't know anything about the show.
I hadn't watched it.
I hadn't watched it.
Oh, really?
I didn't even what? I just went in and they gave me a job by accident. I truly think it was by accident. They might have There might have been a mistake in the paperwork and they've gone, oh, hang on, no. Well, yeah, oh, okay, I think that's the one, yeah. Because truly, I don't know. I only read once and the next day I was in there being handed a script. So that's all. That's my story, Morning Glory. What else?
Oh, when did you know? When did you know you wanted...
Yes, Desiree.
Maxine,
Uh-huh.
when did you know you wanted to be an actress? And did you tell your mum and dad? And what did they think when you told them?
Well, I think I've always been an actress.
In utero.
Yeah, I think in utero.
I think so.
Yeah. I think I've always been what my father would call a show pony. My dad actually took, well, to answer the question, I didn't bother telling my parents. They didn't even know I went for an audition for Prisoner, neither did I. And so, in fact, even when I started, I did. I cut my hair. Mum said, oh, that looks nice. But I don't think she knew what I was doing. And so, yeah, so no, I didn't bother telling them, and I don't think they watched it. I don't think they did. And, what else? Oh yeah, my nana was the self-made, I'm sure, president of the Victorian Country and Western Association here in Melbourne, and so
With
they had
an accent.
no, my nana pretended to have a posh accent.
Oh no!
My nana was hilarious. So she was very funny, very clever, and just really out there. Anyway, I don't know why she took this job on and made it up for herself, but she did. So they had a three-piece band, and there were these like men in their probably their nylon shirts and their slacks and their black shoes, and then on stage. And I got up and I started singing. What a show off! So I used to do that every fortnight. I think I went and just did that. Then my father. Neighbours Klibingaitis management decided to take me on tour. I was 9, 10. So Ellen, do you remember those?
I do remember going to one or two of those.
Yeah, when I got up and sort of I was really up myself and sang songs, country songs with this three-piece adult band. Oh yeah, here I go.
I don't recall you talking about being an actress when we were little, but you very much wanted to be a model.
Oh yeah, model.
Or an air hostess.
Disastrous, both. Oh, did I?
Yes.
So Ellen, can you be quiet for a minute? I'm joking. She said okay. Oh, big hugs for Sue Ellen. Yeah. Now, what's the next question?
Ken.
Anyone that you admired or
Ken,
inspired
please.
anyone that you admired or inspired you to get into acting?
Jackie Woodburn.
No.
Yes? She was in 1915 with Sigrid Thornton, and I thought I could bloody do that.
Well, bugger me.
Say it out loud.
Well, bugger me.
You're still my beating heart, I'm only human. What's the next question? I like this game.
What are your hobbies? And I know. And what do you enjoy doing in your spare time? Is that
Why
right?
are you miming at me? You're a fool. Yeah, I am. The only qualification I actually have in life is to tap dance teach. Anyone who wants a private lesson. That's all I know how to do privately, right? That's all I know. That's my only qualification. Aside from that, I do love to crochet, and I do love to knit, and I do love to draw, and I do love to write anything, even if it's crap.
And she crocheted me a beautiful rug, all in shades of pink, which that's what I was trying to do.
I wasn't sure.
Marcel. What's the next one? What goodies have you got?
Tell us what your favourite food is.
See, at the moment it changes. Did you say sketty, like a child?
Skitty.
I like sketty.
Me too. The alphabet stuff.
Oh, you like the alphabet sketty. What do you put on your alphabet sketty, Uncle Ken?
Just tomato sauce.
Not
Wrong with that?
no, like a passata. Do you mean, or do you mean like tomato sauce? Did everyone see that there's a violent side to Ken Mulholland Drive? I think we could be mystery man.
Do you see why phone calls with Maxine go on for hours? And sometimes she goes to me, "Are you still there?" And I'm like, she's so
Stupid.
like, no, she just takes me to a place. I start visualising all the things she's saying. Oh yeah, I'm here. I'm just picturing all the tales she tells me.
It was a funny story. She told me she was trying to talk to her dog in German, but the dog wasn't listening.
I speak to my dogs in various languages.
She sings songs. She makes up songs about them.
I do.
Too.
I'll give you a little bit, not the whole thing, because I've made a mistake doing the whole thing before and everyone's just gone, Mr. Fox is a rescue Jack Russell Chihuahua, just like Charlotte is.
Yes.
And Zsa Zsa Baboom is a rescue. She's a yes, I know. Her name matches her because she has two different coloured eyes, and she also I think sneakily is a bar singer, right? So I just sing this, and I'll only sing a tiny bit. Little Mr. Foxy, he's not very poxy. And then there's Zsa Zsa Baboom, she'll fill the room with a little smoky tune, little Mr. And that's how it goes. And no, do not praise no, do not. I've got another one. Because I have three, and I sang them all to Genevieve Lemon, all in full. And I said, what are your dog songs? And she said, we're going to the park, we're going to the park to meet our friends, to meet our friends. We're going to the park, we're going to the park to meet our friends. And my mum was like putting on a one-woman's job. So, yeah, so I shan't do that. All right, well, a little bit. So, Mr. Fox, friendly neighbourhood Mr. Fox. Getting kids any size, catching neighbours by surprise. Look out! Here comes Mr. Fox. Yeah, and it goes on. And they've got one for when I come home with the shopping, but I'll leave that for later. That's for part 2. Next.
No.
Next.
Me.
Oh.
Desiree.
But
Desiree.
I don't want you to just tell them. I want you to do as Maxine is a sensational actress, and so should be. Before this ends, you have to see her gardener. What's her name?
Oh, you're going to make you do Ivana.
Please do Ivana. But the question that I have to ask is, what TV shows do you like? But I don't want you to just say them. I want you to act something out of one of the TV shows you like. Or you can do Ivana.
TV shows, I'm just trying to think who I love on the Brady Bunch. Yeah, we all love Marsha, right? I even got my mother to cut my hair into a point. She did it. I'm trying to think. TV shows, I love them all.
Lost in Space.
Oh, that's because Sue Ellen just said Lost in Space. That's because we used to kiss. Who was it? Which character was on the television screen? We were children.
Will
No, we still do it now. No, who was there was Don. We fancied Don.
The robot.
Not the robot.
The robot.
No, Don.
Dr. Smith.
No, my favourite movie of all time, I think, is Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Partly because I'm...
Do it. Do it.
Okay, I'll do the scene where... are you all familiar with the film? Anyone familiar with it? Yeah. Where Jane then, she pretends that she's Blanche on the phone, so she wants some booze, right? She wants to get some booze, and Blanche has obviously put no, we're not buying anymore because she's in the chair. And so she says, yeah, is this Johnson's? I want to order some liquor. What do you mean? My sister did? Okay, I'll just put her on. Blanche, would you talk to the nice man, Johnson? Hello. Yes, this is Blanche. Of course. Oh, there must be some mistake. After all, we pay our bills. Yes, of course. Of course. Thank you. Would you? Thank you. Yeah. I want 6 bottles of scotch and 3 bottles of gin. Yeah, the same brand. That's it now. Ken.
All for me.
I don't know, Desiree. I can't read what you're doing because I haven't got my reading glasses.
Do you want to borrow
That's all
mine?
right.
No,
That's all right. I'll read for you.
thank you.
Did you bus or take a taxi anywhere? Oh no. So, did you train anywhere to be an actor?
Oh,
Train,
not
train.
not as in vehicle.
No. Are you serious? I just walked into the office and said, do you have any jobs? No. Maybe life training, I'll put it that way. Still learning it. We're all still learning, right? Yeah. That'll do. Well, that's my answer. Go. What's next?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Okay, we'd like to talk about Neighbours. Now, you joined the cast in June 1985, the same year you were on Prisoner, but Neighbours was on Channel 7 at the time. Trivia. Who was that beautiful actress that you met there, who was also your friend that day? Oh, come on.
Would you be more up yourself? What a stretch.
Then we went back to your house. Andrew was directing.
Yeah, he
during
was
the
directing,
party
yeah.
scene.
Yeah. And you were on Neighbours with me, I know.
I know.
Was that before or after Special Squad?
After Special Squad, that's why I said I was putting you there that we were already friends. How bizarre is that?
Yeah, it is bizarre. That beautiful actress, look at her. Neighbours. Yeah, do you want me to talk about Neighbours? Is that
Yeah,
what
about your
was?
role as Terry. But that was when you
actually not
do you know your character, Terry,
Yes.
is the only character on Neighbours over the whole 37 years that committed suicide?
I know. She
There's
couldn't
no
get
other-
enough of everything. She shot people, she committed suicide.
But there's been no other character ever
I
committed
don't
suicide.
know. And she got married after one date. What a slut.
She got married.
She got married. Well, she did. It doesn't mean she kept herself nice. Sue Ellen. Yeah, I knocked it back actually because I had come from Prisoner and I did an audition. They offered it to me, and so I said no at first, but then my agent, I then had an agent, it was no longer Neighbours Klibingaitis management. And I found a proper agent, and she advised me. She just said to me, "Yeah, why don't you just do it? I mean, it's only for a couple of months." Well, it ended up being the timing was right because the show was going to end. They didn't know that then, and so I took the role on. And look, I had a really nice time. They were really great people to work with, and it was really almost a forgotten show at Channel 7 when I was working on it. It was almost like the network didn't really care. So we just kind of did what we wanted to do. And if anyone is a fan of Neighbours or has seen the early episode, you're a fan there and you're a fan, the early episodes were us just mucking around. Des would deliberately trip over a laundry basket or something. Or I know that David Clencie, who remains a friend of mine, who played Danny, he hit his head a couple of times, and that was for real, but they kept it in. There were, he still hits his head, doesn't he? He's a beautiful guy, isn't he? I love David Clencie, and I do keep in contact with a lot of actors. Is he a friend of yours as well, love? Yeah. He's a very giving and generous person. He really is a lovely person, and whip smart. He's whip smart. So we did a lot of silly stuff that we'd muck around on set with, and a serious scene would be hidden amongst ordering a sandwich. So you're actually telling the information to somebody
very seriously saying, I want lettuce on mine. But then this blah, blah, blah happened, and then I want some more tomato, thanks. Then you continue to tell like this information about what the scene's really about. So we got the freedom to do that at Channel 7. When I think about how it ended up as a series, it was nowhere near the same sort of show. But still has a following and very loved, and now it's gone to see, you know, it's gone to the big green room in the sky. What's next?
Oh, did you meet Reg Watson?
Yeah, he used to come down to the tunnel when you were mentioning the tunnel before, Ken. The tunnel ended up being our makeup and hair area for Prisoner, and Reg Watson used to spin like a child, really, on a wheelie chair, round and round and round. I like Reg. And he was quite chatty and quite nice and quite the lovely fellow. And I think he just came to check up on us all to see if we're all still working and doing the right thing, when probably people were talking behind his back, let's be truthful. But, you know, that's the way it is. Did you meet Reg Watson?
No.
No. Did you?
No, I never met him.
What
I don't think so. If I did, I've forgotten.
Oh.
But I'm like that. I forget people. I know faces. I forget names, I should say. I don't forget people.
I remember when Caitlin Kirkpatrick was working as continuity on Prisoner. Oh, that's right, it was before your time. And she said to me, they're making a new show that Reg Watson has devised called Living Together at Grundy's, and of course that became Neighbours, so I only know that about it. But Reg Watson seemed to be a very nice man.
And how did you get the audition for Terry?
I didn't.
You just got
they just gave it to me. Anything else?
It's on the list.
All right. Right. Next.
Ken.
Oh.
This is a 37-part question, but I'll cut it short. You were married to Paul Robinson. What was it like working with Stefan Dennis?
He is beautiful. Do you know Stefan?
Yeah, I do.
He is so... Do you all know Stefan? Have you met him? Isn't he nice?
Yeah.
Mr. Nice. He's so lovely. Just a beautiful person. That's all I can say. A really nice man, good family man, loves his family, decent person. In fact, in that first show that I mentioned that I went to the ABC and just walked in and said hi, he actually had a very small role in that show as a dog keeper. And who would have thought that only a few years later we would be getting married on television? That's bizarre, isn't it? Because I was playing a kid in a school uniform. I know, but I was older than I looked, yes. So, yeah. What's next?
Still on Ken.
Oh, we're still on Ken.
Do you have any memories of Frances Bell, who played Max Ramsay, and Anne Haddy, who played Helen Daniels? And I do have some memories of.
You go. You go.
Okay, I'll just take this over. Anne Haddy was a lovely lady, and she and I swapped books a lot because she was a great reader and so was I. But I do remember Kendal Flanagan, who used to call her, when he called down from the God box, he was a director, he would call her Haddy. Was that? I thought that was a bit insolent.
Well, that's plain rude, but Kendal, shall we talk about Kendal for a bit?
Why not?
Kendal was, Genevieve and I used to call him Yentl. I don't know why. We had names for everybody that were highly irritating to the prisoner cast. So we've jumped from Neighbours to Prisoner, but we can go back to Neighbours again. But Kendal, do you remember him? Did you work with Kendal?
I did work with him.
He used to just use his cigarette as a twirling baton. And he just used to, and then he'd pace around in these Elvis jumpsuits. Was he wearing those in your day? Yeah. The velvet custom-made jumpsuits with flares. And he would just be, and he was either in a good mood or not. And if he was not, it didn't matter. No one cared. We just go, this Kendal. And but mostly he was all right. He was funny. He was very clever, super clever. And he raised his brothers. I think there were 3. I could be mistaken. There could have been 4 brothers, and he was one of 5. May stand corrected, but he raised them pretty well. His father was a leading psychiatrist who took his own life. And his mother was an alcoholic. Sorry, Kendal and brothers, for telling your story. I hope it's okay, I'm sure it is, because it was pretty common knowledge. And she also died young, and Kendal pretty much raised his brothers. So a lot on his plate, really, and a lot on that madness that was Kendal. And as a director, sometimes, didn't he, Ken, you'd know Wayne, I reckon Ken's a really dark horse. Because when you've got cans on, right, you've got the headphones on, you're hearing everything, and you're also privy to what's happening in front of you. So you get both ends. It's like being Switzerland in the middle, right? And Kendal would sometimes will not be able to direct, and Jen Williams, our switcher, would call his shots from his scripts that had been blocked. Is that true? You can give that a go.
He would come back from a car out the back full of smoke. Not him, but although he probably was full of smoke by then. His nickname was Flange.
Yes, I do remember. Yep.
And yes, he was a very good director, but he was also very way out. I think we could put it like that.
You sound like you're out of the Brady Bunch.
Far out.
What's not to like about the Brady Bunch?
All right. I love the Brady Bunch. Who's your favourite character? Alice. Marsha.
Sam.
The butcher, yeah, he was great.
Oh, and at Tiger.
Oh, give me the microphone back. She wasn't in the Brady Bunch. But Kendal, yeah, he wasn't he? And you got that. That must have been difficult getting the God box from upstairs and downstairs. And what about the Lightfoot dancing that Uncle Rabies and Top Up did, and the floor managers? Because really, you got both ends, and you were right in the middle. You hear it all.
And we could also hear each other. So each camera could talk to each other, which was part of our little secret thing.
Man of mystery, I was right. All right, what next?
No, this is going way off track, but Tim reminded me of a story before. So Maxine and I have worked together, but our main relationship is as friends over the years. We were doing Boronia Boys, and there was a scene where Maxine had to be waxed. She was getting ready for a big date night. Maxine is hairless. There's nothing to wax down there. I don't have any hairs under my arms or anywhere. Maxine is clean cut under her arm.
I've got a thatch, I'm telling you.
So we're like, Tim, have you got props for this? No, Tim doesn't have props. Maxine is forever thinking. She looks at our cameraman. He's got a lovely honey. We use honey for the wax, raided the cupboard, got the honey, looked at the cameraman. Oh, he's got a great beard. What does a beard look like? Pubic hair. So we cut his hair, we put it on, I think we cut up a pillow slip or something. Cut up a pillow slip, stuck the honey on, stuck this sprouting hair to her, and I've got to get right down in her face. We're very close friends. Right down in her space down there, and pull it off and look like we've successfully pulled off the Yeti.
We have to interrupt just for 1 minute. Ken has to leave. We are going over time, but we'll go for a little bit longer. Ken is on his way out. Thank you all, yes. All big round of applause for Ken.
Love you, Ken.
Did you come in a limo, didn't you? Yeah.
So back to the story. I'm down in Maxine's Tasmania region. Never doing that, the map, it was Tasmania. I'm right down there. We are laughing so much. And Tim's starting to get frustrated because we were meant to be being really serious with this. Pull it up. Here's this cut up pillow slip with honey and so much hair. So much hair stuck to it. But of course, I've got it a bit stuck on poor Max. She's really let out a real ouch. Anyhow, she is.
No, it flew off. The piece of cloth that she was supposed to be waxing me with, where no one could see, fucking flew off. Desiree, you made it fly off. Where's Tim? Did she deliberately do it, Tim?
It was a close-up.
It was a very big close-up.
He said it was a close-up. I'll use it for my show reel.
Tim's a terrible director. I'm sure that goes against any rules in the union that we should have been doing.
It flew off and I said, Desiree! And I went, and I went down into a croissant. And yes, laugh away, laugh. Fucking bitch. There's a child in the room. Sorry, Angel darling, and she's wearing the scarf I made you.
Oh, I didn't get a scarf.
None of us got scarves.
Only beautiful Grace.
Oh, it's beautiful, Grace.
Come over here, Grace.
Come and
me your
show
scarf.
it. Come and show it, darling.
Come to the
Come
front.
on, Grace.
Come on.
Yay, good Grace. Come on, Gracie. Oh, look, Ken's left the seat warm. Oh, she's wearing glasses. She can do Ken.
Yes, she actually you can. Yes. Take the script.
Look at the beautiful scarfie. Look at the beautiful hair. There you go, you do Ken.
Don't you love
You don't have to. You don't have to.
I didn't ask for this.
Do you like? Tell us about your dad. Is he a naughty dad? Naughty dad. See, there you go. Beans are being spilled.
What was the wedding like?
Well, do you remember Douglas Glanville? Was he working on Prisoner at the time?
Yes.
So he was doing our Neighbours hair and makeup as well. And so he was very much a designer, and he just made this headpiece for Terry. And I don't know, I think it was a shonky wedding, wasn't it? I don't know it. I can't remember. Does anyone know? Was it in Des's house or something? See, no one knows.
I remember your real wedding.
Oh yeah, you were at my real
Maxine
wedding.
looked absolutely beautiful. She looked like a princess. Trudy, what was Maxine
Trudy,
like?
come over here.
Oh, this is my sister. This is Trudy Sparkle.
Come on, Trudy. Trudy Sparkles.
Anyone who knows Prisoner knows Trudy's always with me, but she come back from Bendigo today to be here.
Oh,
I did. What was Maxine like? as a
Maxine
bride?
was just absolutely beautiful, little vision in white, princess, fairy, absolutely gorgeous, yeah.
Sparkles and
And all
pure
TV
white.
Week were there, and yes, it was quite an event, wasn't it?
Yeah. And she's still beautiful and sparkly.
Poor thing.
Oh, there's the wedding, look. Oh my God, Maxine's like a 12.
Yeah.
I am 12.
I'm 12 in that photo.
How young did she look?
Thank you.
Well, I was shocked after the one date. I think we played squash or something.
Now Grace is going to do the next question, but before she does, also another fact was you were the first character added to Neighbours to the regular cast. So there was the regular cast. You were the first.
Yeah, and it was a bit. They were very welcoming. It's very different to Prisoner. I think there's nothing like Prisoner, right? And so you walk into. We didn't even have a green room at Channel 7 because it didn't seem to matter to the network that the show even was happening. But that's okay. The people were very nice. Everyone was lovely. And as I said, I'm still friends with David Clencie. I love him to this day. But and I've seen Vicky Blanche in the past and a few Neighbours people, but there's nothing like Prisoner. The feeling of even the green room, it might have been scary for people that were just joining in the cast, whether you had a big role or a little one or whatever. You walk into that green room and it was just like you just were walking into someone else's home for a start. So no one made a big fuss because actors would come and go, right? But you were still welcome, and it was homely. And then when you got on set, the actors it was quite a theatrical show when you think about it. it's almost as theatrical as the actors that began in the show and the actors that followed through throughout the show, rather. And that, it was a piece of theatre, really. And it still holds up. And so it was quite a contrast. Neighbours and Prisoner was very different, but still enjoyable, you know. And then I went on to do other things too, like I really love my character on Family and Friends, which is a show I did with Annie Phelan. And that was a short-lived show, but I so loved that character. So sometimes you just fall in love with the character too.
Why was that show so short-lived? Because it had such a strong...
It did. It had I'd call it Channel 9. When we started that show, it was going to be the next huge thing. Actors like Annie, I didn't relocate, but she did, all of her stuff to Sydney, because we thought, well, wow, this is going to be for a long time. And I think they put so much effort into advertising it, and we were everywhere. It was like too much maybe, and it was just like the new show, this big thing. Abigail was in it. She played my mother, for those who remember. Beautiful Abigail, I love her dearly. I miss Annie Phelan every single day of my life. And it was a great cast, and it was really strong writers. We had our own studio. We weren't even associated with Channel 9. We had our own studio built. We had our own dressing rooms. We were isolated from Channel 9, and the writers worked on set, you know. They had their own room. So it should have worked. It should have been something better than they allowed it to be, or that they even offered faith towards. So that's a great shame, because it was a really good show, and I really enjoyed my character. We had so much freedom on that show. My character, when I did audition for her, she was the town bike. She'd done the whole fucking town. And I played her, and I knew at the time, even though I knew it was a bit of something, I thought about it, and I thought, no, I'm going to do it. So I went in an Angora pink little retro thing, and lots of love heart brooches for my audition, and I played her like she was in love with love and that she wasn't a slut. And I thought, yeah, that's dicey. And I didn't hear for 3 weeks, so I thought, wow, made a mistake, didn't I? But no, they'd cast me first, but then Family and Friends, they had to mix it all around and see that everyone could make a good fit for the cast. And I didn't know. I said, you could have fucking told me, because I spent 3 weeks going, maybe, no, maybe not, maybe not. So, and that is show business, by the way. And yeah, I got the role, and I was just so happy with her, because I was just given such freedom. I made her... She ended up having a fiancé that she wouldn't sleep with, even though she'd done the whole town. But she wanted to keep herself nice for their wedding. Block your ears. All right, well I've gone off track.
Next question is Grace.
I don't read to this.
Down the bottom.
Down the bottom. I can't read it for you because I haven't got my reading
I never
glasses.
thought I would say this, but I want Ken to come back.
Ask a question.
You can read, can't you?
Can you not read, Mum?
That'd be me. Was it your choice to leave Neighbours?
What was that?
Was it your choice to leave Neighbours?
Oh, well, yes, because I wasn't going to ever go to Channel 10. And so then they killed my character off anyway. She had her headstone, I didn't even see it. I think it was about polystyrene. I think Helen Daniels, and the question was asked by Ken before about working with Anne Haddy. She was a dream. She was an absolute dream. She was the only person to visit with probably a plastic bunch of flowers to put next to the polystyrene wobbling in the wind headstone. And no, I didn't want to go across to Channel 10. I have no regrets about that at all. And I've said that before. When the show got axed, I think some people that have been on said that they were upset that the show had been axed or whatever at Channel 7, but I I remember us laughing a bit because it was the 80s and we just thought, oh, I'm just getting a fucking job. And so, wow, look out. And so it got axed. But it was my decision. Thank you very much, Grace.
Another question, Grace.
Oh, she hates you now.
No, she loves it. Next question.
You said I lied.
She's funny, she's feisty lady, she's feisty.
Top question.
No, you can do it.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the ending of Neighbours? On the
So you
axing
do
of
it more
Neighbours?
better than me.
Well, they're saying it's rested, and they're not saying it's axed. It's rested.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, well, what does that mean? It's going to be resurrected from the dead?
Could be.
Do you think?
It might be. They could bring out a whole spin-off like
I
Lassiter's.
kind of hope so.
The musical, Lassiter's the
Lassiter's
musical.
Well, I mean,
It's
Neighbours,
all happening.
Neighbours is our answer to Coronation Street, isn't it? Or EastEnders. It's sad it's gone.
Yeah.
I think everything has a lifespan, right? So it's sad. I think it's sad that they didn't maybe. I did watch the last episode and it was a little bit stitched together in my way of thinking, this is only my opinion, to stitch it all up quickly in the beginning and then get back the characters that were more original to the show. And which was that was a great joy, right? But so many characters were in the show at the time that it was hard to keep up with, I felt. And the scenes were really small, like, I'll just use this, pretend it's mine. It's like, yeah, I'm going to the meeting now. I'll be there in a minute. I did not. And then they'd exit the set and you go, oh, okay, that was one scene. So I'm not knocking it by any means, but it was just a very different show to what it was at Channel 7. But it was quirky and it was family and it was just, they had a little homeliness about it and it changed a lot, which things do over the years, you know. And shout out to all the actors who are now unemployed and the crew, some of the crew too.
If you look up what they're worth at Maxine, they're worth a lot more than we ever were.
We didn't stay in for long enough.
No, I know. But we didn't get paid much, really.
What did you get paid?
Can't remember now, but it wasn't much.
See, I had Jurgis Klibingaitis management. And he was under the impression that when you start a long-term role, no matter who you are, no matter what you've done before or whatever, it's always a 3-month contract to start with, and then they see whether or not the character works for the rest of the show. Bobbie did. So my dad just thought that every 3 months he used to go in and he would renegotiate my contract. In the end, I was earning the same as Maggie. So Bobbie and Maggie were getting the same money, even though we had a completely different dynamic in the show. But it's just because they wanted to keep my character on that they didn't say no to my dad, who didn't know. He thought he was doing a fine job. Managing my daughter on stage, please, welcome her now. He did once say to a group of his friends, he said, these are my children, this is Caroline, this is Frances, this is Belinda, and this is Bobbie Mitchell.
No.
Yes, he did. God bless him.
Don't.
I had to stand there like they'd oddly named me. Anyway, what's next?
No, we are going to have to wrap up because it is 5:30. I would have loved to have gone on longer, but we are going to do a part 2, which is all about Prisoner, because that's what everyone, all the fans across the world want to know. So we will do a part 2.
Are we going to end in a part 10?
Part 10. Part 10.
She's learned, she's a fast learner.
Hang on,
Tell people
Maxine.
what you said.
It's going to end in 10 parts.
Maxine, please do your part up for them.
Oh.
Please.
I can't remember a lot of it. Desiree, thank you. Never. Okay, so I did this character. We had a radio show for a while, Andrew and myself, at ABC, excuse me, Radio 774. And Zane, my beautiful Zane, was in it as well. And we had a plethora of really good actors that used to come and go throughout this show. And I did this, we used to just write what we wanted. Andrew used to write all the political sort of statements about life in the world, as we knew it then. And I used to write social things. So it was a phone-in send up of a breakfast morning radio show. You'd ring in and it was set in Tarwidgee Bar, 7664 was the radio station, and you'd get your usual callers and stuff like that. And my character was an in-studio person, and I just wrote her, I don't know why, and her name was Ivana Stamos, and she was a gardening expert. You can moisten my nipple wart, you can fertilize my floral envelope with your prickly bottle. I am working very closely with my landscape gardener, Elvis. Elvis was the first one to pop my native cherry into the ground. He entered gently and provided a surprising amount of fertilizer. I can't remember much more of Ivana, but I think you get the one trick pony that she might have.
That was amazing. That was episode 49, part 1 of Talking Prisoner. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and share the interview everywhere you can. And please also like and subscribe to all our social media platforms. And this podcast will be also available across all the Spotify platforms, Apple, iHeartRadio, the rest of them, and the talkingprisoner.com website.